لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Second hadith of Umdah al-Ahkaam from Ibn Abdul Ghani al-Maqdisi, with the explanation of our Sheikh Sa'ad ibn Nasr al-Shithri, may Allah preserve him and extend his life upon good deeds. The second hadith, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إذا رأيتموه فصوموا إذا رأيتموه فصوموا وإذا رأيتموه فأفطروا فإن غم عليكم فاقدروا له. Basically, the definition or the translation here is that Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said that he heard the Prophet ﷺ saying that if you see the moon, the new moon, then fast. If you see the new moon, as in at the end of the month, then break your fast, as in start Shawwal. And if it becomes cloudy and you're not able to sight the moon, then count it or estimate it via numbers. Now, in this hadith, there are many benefits connected to moon sighting. Now, if we look at the arrangement that the scholar has given here, is that he started with before Ramadan, and now he is entering into Ramadan with the second hadith. And basically, what we have here is talking about the moon sighting. And the moon sighting is basically affirmed by witnessing. And here we have a clear prohibition on predictions or using calendars. What is obligated for us is to actually physically see the moon. The scholars differed as to how many people are needed to see. Imam Malik said that it must have two witnesses, but the Jumhur of the ulama have said that one witness is sufficient if there is sufficient evidence to believe this person. So they've said basically the person has to be a Muslim, have to be trustworthy, they have to have good eyesight, they have to know what they're talking about. And if that is the case, and the person goes up to the Qadi and says, look, I've seen the new moon, here it is, and there's the description, this is when I saw it, because obviously certain times of the day you can't see it, and if this is reasonable, then the Qadi can believe him and accept this hukam, and we start Ramadan. The next issue that Sheikh Sa'ad ibn Nasr al-Shithri has mentioned here is that the Prophet ﷺ has used the plural, and he said that if you see the moon, then all of you fast it. He's used it as a plural, then fast it, as in referring to all of us. In this hadith, does it necessarily mean that everybody is bound by the same sighting of the moon, or do different lands have different sightings? Now, the scholars have differed, and they've used the same hadith and they've understood it in different ways to come up with their different opinions. Imam al-Shafi'i said that we follow our own sightings, except if there is a close land that is close to us and they've basically seen the moon there, then we follow their hukum. Imam Malik has basically said that we follow what we see, and Imam Ahmad said that one sighting for the Ummah is sufficient for all of us. Others said that it depends on the ruler and his ijtihad, and there are various opinions from the scholars in this regard. All of this is based on this one hadith, or hadith which is similar to this, is that the Prophet ﷺ is commanding us to fast if you see the moon. But which moon and where is the moon? This is where the scholars have differed. But the correct opinion, which Allah knows best about, is that one sighting of the moon is sufficient, and the hadith is quite clear, is that the Prophet ﷺ has talked in the plural sense, inciting unification, inciting a sense of community, inciting that we all stick together. Some of the scholars are of the opinion that we stick to Makkah. Now, this is from me, by the way. Following Makkah today would combine some of these views, that we all are united, that we all have one goal, and we all cooperate with each other in birr and taqwa, and we enter the month together and we end the month together. and that we are following Makkah. So I mean the objective is obtained here, that we do not differ and we do not fight one another because of different moon sightings, especially in lands where there are no rulers, Muslim rulers to make the judgment for us. So this is the issue in this hadith, as in the Prophet ﷺ is telling us to follow the moon sighting, and he is inciting that we stay together as a Muslim community. Hadith that came before us, this one, clearly prohibited the fasting of Shawwal or Sha'ban, the last couple of days of Sha'ban. And here is also a proof in that. And the Prophet ﷺ is stating here that do not fast or begin the fasting when you see the moon sighting. So fasting the day of doubt is not permitted. But some of the scholars have differed on this also, that Imam Ahmad has stated in his opinion that you do fast the day of doubt. And the reason for that is this particular hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, if it becomes cloudy over you, then count it. This is the literal wording that has been used. Then count it. Count what? Now the majority have understood count it to mean estimate the days of Sha'ban, as in you predict that, or you go out there and you look on the 29th for the new moon. If it's not there, then count 30. This is the way that they've understood it. On the 30th day, you finish the 30th day of Sha'ban, and the day after that, Ramadan will start. Because you haven't seen the moon, you've counted 30 days of Sha'ban. However, Imam Ahmad said count it refers to Ramadan, as in count it within Ramadan. Count it within Ramadan. So if you don't see the new moon and it's cloudy over you, then begin fasting. And the reason for that is another reason for their opinion is that they are saying here that we need to be cautious when it comes to acts of worship. So say, for example, the time of a particular act of worship has begun and you are not sure, then you should start it. And this is what they are stating here, because by delaying it you could be sinful. By delaying it, you could be sinful. So you'll be carrying on eating and drinking and doing as you please when it's the day in Ramadan, and the consequences and the sin for not fasting in Ramadan are severe. Prophet ﷺ, when he went up to Isra Miraj, he saw people being punished with their mouths, hooks being punished in their mouth. And the Prophet ﷺ asked Jibreel afterwards, and he was told, alayhi salam, that these are the people who broke their fast before its time, intentionally. They didn't have any concern with that. So the scholars have stated, many from the Salaf and those who came afterwards from Ahl Hadith, who basically stated that if this is the case for these people who broke their fast, how about the people who don't fast at all, intentionally during the day of Ramadan, who have no concern for the honor and the dignity and the prestige that has been given by Allah to this blessed period. So the day of Ramadan is something which is very, very noble, and contradicting it has severe punishments. From that are expiations, and from that is a terrible, painful torment in the Akhirah. May Allah protect us and our families. Also in this hadith, the scholars have that's it actually. Sheikh Sa'd ibn Nasr Shithri has gone into detail about the differences of opinion of when it becomes cloudy or not. I think we've kind of discussed the points that he's mentioned here anyway. But just to recap, the Prophet ﷺ said, fast when they see it, break your fast when they see it, and if it is cloudy upon you or you don't see it because of the weather, then count 30 days for Sha'ban, and once the 30th day is over, that's when Ramadan starts. We have taken from this is that the Ummah, you need to be united. Some of the scholars have stated that each particular land has its own sighting, but we're saying, especially in today's day and age, we can be united and we all follow what the community is saying, and we do not, the objective here is we do not split and differ. whether it's an individual basis or whether are different groups. Fasting begins with moon sighting, and the end of fasting ends with moon sighting. The scholars differ on how many we need as witnesses. They're saying 1 is sufficient to start and 2 necessary to end the month. And if it is cloudy upon you, then count Sha'ban as 30 days. And we've gone into the difference of opinion on this as well, with Imam Ahmad saying that we start Ramadan the day of doubt in order to protect ourselves from conflicting Ramadan. However, the majority of the scholars have stated, because of another hadith that's been narrated in Bukhari and Muslim, is that the Prophet ﷺ said, if it is cloudy upon you, then count Sha'ban as 30 days. Specific and clear wording, count Sha'ban as 30 days. And this is the opinion of the majority, and quite clearly the most correct one. Ask Allah to make Ramadan beneficial for us, and that He allows us to reach Ramadan and benefit and accept our acts of worship within it. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.